Hey business owners, today we're going to be talking about product market fit, why it matters, how to measure it mathematically, how to improve your product market fit, and how it fits in the world of cold outreach. Because here's a little secret. Using cold outreach is the best way to test and iterate your way to product market fit. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Garik Tate, and I get B2B businesses and firms new clients with AI development and cold email outreach. Just last month, we got one of our clients 30 booked calls in 30 days. If that sounds interesting to you, click on the link in the description below, and then you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and we'll see if we can help you. So let's think about product market fit. Product market fit is, I would say, the most important thing in your business. And I think the story that illustrates product market fit better than anything else is a story about Slack. So the company that built Slack originally was a video game production company. They built a video game called Glitch. And when it was released, it bombed. It just failed on launch, and they had to do their big pivot. And they realized that something they had built on the way to developing their video game was their internal messaging tool. And they said, this tool was very addictive. We ended up spending, in some ways, more time in the communications than on the video game. Maybe other companies that have problems with communications would find this useful. After Slack's release, they had tens of thousands of teams using it, and within 2 years, they had $1 billion evaluation. So let's think about this. It was the same team, it was the same work ethic, but had entirely different results. Why? Because this time they had product market fit. Let's actually define that a little more rigorously than the way most people define it. So one helpful way of breaking down product market fit is you have product market fit established when you have the highest delta, the highest difference between, let's say, 3 different variables. What it costs you to provide the product or service, how much you charge for that product or service, and the perceived value of that product and service. If you can have the highest delta between those 3 variables, that is when you have product market fit. Because if you have high product market fit, it means it costs you almost nothing to provide. You are charging a good premium on it. Your margins are very healthy. You're making a lot of money per customer. And the customers think they're getting a steal out of it. They're converting at a very high level because they think that they're getting a ton of value from it. This is difficult because in the world of capitalism, you're facing competition. So if there's something that you can provide that is very cheap to provide, but people are willing to spend a lot of money, and you have really good margins on it, then obviously it depends how easy that is to provide. If other people see you doing that, then they're going to try to replicate that. So that's the wheel of capitalism. How can you have that highest delta spread without becoming a commodity? For some business owners, and especially startups, you're trying to do something truly unique. You're trying to find product market fit where there is no competition. You're trying to do it inside a blue ocean, trying to build something that has not been built before. But for most entrepreneurs and business owners, you have to find product market fit by doing things a little bit differently, by having some sort of unique selling proposition, or by giving some unique spin to your business. And the thing you're trying to fight against is to become a commodity. You want to do something unique, bringing maybe your unique perspective or your unique brand to that product. However you do it, when this is unlocked, business definitely goes to easy mode. But I would say that this is the hardest thing to do inside of business. I think about the world of capital allocation. So private equity companies, hedge funds, S&P 500, VC firms, all of this money allocation that's going out in the world of finance, it all effectively is trying to allocate resources to productive vehicles, to vehicles that are providing product market fit. The way that they are building businesses is they're not trying to start businesses from scratch. They're not trying to find product market fit from scratch. They are instead acquiring businesses that have proven product market fit, and then they're trying to scale it to the moon. In other words, these are institutions that have access to the most capital and often access to some of the smartest brains, and they're spending their time and their brain power and their capital in finding what works, trying to scale it, rather than really trying to create something from scratch. Because when you're creating something from scratch, you're trying to find the product market fit. If we take the counter example, institutions like VC firms, startup incubators, businesses that are really about finding product market fit, they are doing it expecting 9/10 of their ventures to fail. But if only one blows up, it's going to explode to the moon and then pay off the loss on the other 9 companies. So providing a blue ocean product market fit will have the most value because no one else has been doing this. But even if you're inside of a red ocean, even if you're inside of a highly competitive field, if you can find product market fit by providing some sort of unique angle, by either increasing the perceived value of your product or by being able to lower the cost of providing your service, you are going to be finding business is just easier. Specifically, business will be easier for 2 reasons. One, your conversion rate will go up. This is how you can measure if you have good product market fit, because literally the 2 are fitting. The market is saying yes to your product. Your conversion rate amongst your target market increases. And also you will find that your margins per customer is higher than your competition's, which allows you to invest more in marketing. This happens on every marketing channel. All marketing channels become more expensive over time. Originally, Google AdWords was super cheap. If you even had a crappy product, you could still make a lot of money in Google AdWords. Then that became more expensive over time. Facebook came in. How did they compete against Google? In the very beginning, mostly because they were cheaper than Google. Why are lots of small business owners finding success on TikTok? Partially because TikTok does a good job of constraining advertisements to the geographic region, but Facebook and Google do that as well. It's really because TikTok's cheaper than the other platforms. All platforms start off on a cheaper level as people rush in to learn that platform, and then they trend to becoming more expensive. So if you have product market fit, you're making more money per customer. You're able to outspend your competition to market to those eyeballs. Now I've convinced you why product market fit matters so much. I've talked with you about how to measure it mathematically, as well as some of the KPIs that will improve in your business. Now let's talk about how you can improve your product market fit. So there are only 2 ways to improve your product market fit. I'm sure you can guess. You have to change the product. We have to change the market. The best book I've ever read on product market fit is by Alex Hormozi. In that book, he talks about your target market should have 4 qualifications. It should be targetable, as in you're able to actually find that target market. You're able to reach out to them. They should be rich enough to buy your service. They should be in pain, as in they should be motivated to buy your service. And it should be a growing audience. If you're selling to an audience that is shrinking every single year, then your business is really going to be having an uphill battle. But if your market fits those 4 qualifications, then we can talk about the product. I will say that when it comes to product market fit, market does matter more than product, but you don't need a super hungry market out there in order to have a successful business. Most businesses compete by having a better product rather than having access to a market that no one else has access. So you can change your product by either making it cheaper, at which point it increases the delta between how much it costs you to provide and how much you can charge for it, or you can increase the perceived value of the product, thus increasing your conversion rate. Ideally, you want to be doing both. Once again, I think that Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Offers, is fantastic when it comes to this. And so I'm just going to briefly lay out his framework for product value. Decreasing the cost of your product, how much it costs you to deliver the product or service, that will change from industry to industry. But when it comes to increasing the perceived value of your product or service, that has a little more of a universal set of factors to it. Alex Hormozi has 4 variables when it comes to the perceived value of your product, and he puts them into something called the value equation. The perceived value of your product is the value of the outcome times the probability that they think they will get that outcome, divided by how fast they will get the outcome, times the amount of pain or sacrifice it takes to get it. So if your service provides a better outcome than the competition, or does it with less risk, or provides it faster, or does it without as much pain or effort or sacrifice, that's when you will have the product providing the most value. And just a note on this, the way that I recommend approaching this equation is that each one of these variables, you should ask yourself questions to challenge the assumptions you have on it. Check out Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Offers, for more information about the value equation. He gives some really great suggestions about how to improve your product or service, and this video is heavily inspired by his work. So how does a world cold outreach impact product market fit? On one level, product market fit, if you have it, then the conversion rate on your cold outreach emails will go up. That's the same as it is in the world of cold outreach as it is with all other marketing channels. But the unique value, in my opinion, about cold outreach is that it is significantly easier to test if you're still looking for product market fit. The reason why I say that is it's very easy to scrape a list of 1,000 of your ideal target profile, write up a message that you think will appeal to them, send off 1,000 emails and see what kinds of responses you get. Then based on that, you can do it again, either changing the market, sending them the same email, but changing the market profile, or adjusting the message. So in a single week, you can test 5 different product market fit iterations and just see the responses you're getting. You can do this underneath a pseudonym, basically just setting up a website as a fan business, create a wrapper around it, send off the emails, and then see the responses that you get. But if you actually want to scale cold outreach and guarantee profitability, then you're going to have to make sure you have established product market fit first. So that's why at AICO, we prefer working with companies that already have some sort of proof of product market fit, either having a previously working cold outreach campaign or having proof in another channel of some sort. Though we do help a lot when it comes to message market fit, being able to translate their product market fit into unique messaging that works especially well inside of cold outreach. But for those entrepreneurs who are just starting out and deciding if they want to try something new, we definitely recommend to get started with a miniature campaign themselves first. You can find out more information on our YouTube channel for exactly how to do that, how to scrape your leads, and also set up clay tables in order to create custom messaging for them. And that's it for this video. If you want to learn more about what we do when it comes to cold outreach and how we can maybe help you scale your product market fit, you can click on the links in the description below, where you can either get a hold of myself and my team, or you can get access to our AICO cheat sheet, which lays out all of our tips and tricks that we wish we knew when we were first scaling our cold outreach machine. Until next time, cheers. Why would you choose Apollo instead of using LinkedIn? Apollo has a lot more filters that really help you narrow down your target market even further. Though I would warn you that if you can get away with using LinkedIn, that you probably should, because LinkedIn has